Look at this row of beautiful okra plants right next to this row of scrawny okra plants. What's happening? I'll show you what's happening. These are microscopic nematodes that get into the root and destroy the plant's ability to bring up nutrients from the soil. You see, this guy started out good, and then when you see signs that the plant is in distress, you know there's something going on. There is something that I do that works. I just didn't do it here. I'm also experimenting with 2 different things, and I've also noticed that the local farmers, pretty universally around here, are growing a cover crop that is to suppress the nematodes. So I'll share that with you as well.
All I have needs, I have not provided.
I'm trying a new strategy this year, and that is grow vegetables year-round. You see, here in Florida, a lot of us just let our gardens go dormant during the summer because it's so hard to grow vegetables in the heat. And it's hard to figure out what varieties and what kind of vegetables you can grow, although I've got that figured out. But what the problem is as I think ahead to the fall crops, there are vegetables that are going to be affected by root knot nematodes. So here's what I did 3 weeks ago. I just pulled up green bean plants, and this is a good example of what root knot nematodes look like. Those are not nitrogen nodules on there. This right here, that's root knot nematodes. These down here look a lot like the nitrogen nodules, but it's not. That's root knot nematode. So this is the green beans that I just pulled up. They're all infected with root knot nematode. So they were at that end of the bed. All the beans that I had been growing down here, they were all healthy. And this is a French marigold. They work. They keep the nematodes away. I don't know how, but you don't have to till them in. Just interplant them, and they'll keep the nematodes away from your bean plants. Some gardeners say that marigolds don't keep the nematodes away unless you can till them in. That's not been my experience. If you can interplant them in with your green beans and even your tomatoes, it will keep the nematodes away. I think there's probably great benefit to till this in, but right now I'm going to leave it growing because I'm keeping the seeds that it makes so I can plant more French marigolds. The biggest reason why I'm growing mustard through the summer months is because it suppresses root knot nematode. And that is according to a trusted resource. And I'll leave that link in the description below. You can go read it for yourself. But for me, since it's the first time I'm doing this, it's an experiment. I really hope it works. I plan to follow up the mustard with a crop that's very susceptible to root knot nematodes. Mustard plants will shoot up a great big stalk and then produce beautiful little yellow flowers, which become seed pods, which are full of seeds. Once you plant a mustard seed and let it go to seed, you'll never have to buy mustard seeds again. I harvested these seed pods off of a mustard plant about 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to broadcast them right over the bare soil here, and then I'm going to rake them in. Now, when you want to harvest the seeds, it's super, super easy. All you do is rub the husk between your hands and the seeds will fall out. Here's where I planted the mustard greens. We've got some peanuts here that came up volunteer. I just left them. But I planted the mustard greens all in through that bed there. Keeping a garden journal is one of the best things you can do for your garden. If you're like me, you forget what you did from year to year. Here's how you can get one, and it's very budget friendly. I've done a lot of research on how to naturally get rid of root knot nematodes. And this is one of the ways that I discovered. Now, this is an experiment. I can't tell you it works. This is my first time trying this, but I'm willing to try 2 or 3 different things, and this is one of them. So these 3 essential oils are to be mixed together, and since water and oil doesn't mix, I'm going to add a little bit of soap to emulsify it, and then I'm going to drench the beds with that mixture. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find these essential oils. I bought the cheapest ones I could find. I'm not going to use it for my own consumption, so I didn't mind just getting whatever I could find. So the formula is a teaspoon of cinnamon, essential oil, a 1/4 teaspoon of the clove, and a 1/2 teaspoon of the thyme. And I'm going to mix that in this container here, which is a 2-gallon sprayer. Come on, you can do better than that. Smells good. At least I'll have a sweet smelling garden. This is sun hemp. It's absolutely beautiful when it's growing in the fields. It looks like grass at first, and then it makes these beautiful yellow flowers. The farmers here use it to deter root knot nematodes. I used it in my garden one time about 9 years ago, according to my garden journal, and I never did it again. It is a really good cover crop to grow, but unless you have the equipment to cut it down and till it back into the ground, it's going to be really, really hard to turn it back under. Sun hemp is a very hard, fibrous plant. It's about as hard as cornstalk, only it's a little bit more fibrous in my opinion. See here? The stalks are pretty hardy, and it was just too hard to cut it down and try to turn them under by hand. So my recommendation is, if you want to just grow sun hemp and watch it become a beautiful cover crop, go ahead. It's just going to be a little bit labor intensive to get it cut down and turned back under. Now, if you have a tiller or if you disc your soil, it will be no problem. Sunflowers are not technically a cover crop, although when they harvest the heads and then till in the plant itself, it does enhance the soil.
All I have needs I have not provided.